Alright class, today we're diving into a fascinating topic in Romantic art, the aesthetics of ruins. Now, when we think of Romanticism, we often picture dramatic landscapes, intense emotions, and a celebration of nature. But what about crumbling buildings, broken statues, and overgrown landscapes? These seemingly melancholic subjects held a surprising appeal for Romantic artists. One key reason for this fascination was the sense of history and the passage of time that ruins evoked. These remnants of past civilizations served as tangible reminders of mortality and the ephemeral nature of human endeavors. Think about the Colosseum in Rome, for instance. Romantic artists weren't just interested in its architectural grandeur, but also in its decay, which spoke to the rise and fall of empires. This contemplation of time and decay tied into the Romantic interest in the sublime, those experiences of awe and terror in the face of overwhelming natural or historical forces. Interestingly enough, some wealthy landowners in England at the time even commissioned sham ruins to be built on their properties, specifically to evoke these feelings. It's a little ironic, but indicative of how deeply ingrained this aesthetic sensibility was. Another aspect of the Romantic attraction to ruins lies in their connection to nature. Romantic artists often depicted ruins being reclaimed by the natural world, covered in ivy and overtaken by vegetation. This symbolized the cyclical nature of life and death, and the ultimate power of nature over human creation. It wasn't a vision of destruction, but rather one of integration and harmony, a return to a more primal state. It's this blending of the human and natural worlds that created a sense of picturesque beauty, a sort of controlled wildness, if you will. Finally, the depiction of ruins also allowed Romantic artists to express a critique of the Enlightenment's emphasis on reason and order. The fragmented and incomplete nature of ruins could be seen as a metaphor for the limitations of human knowledge and the inherent imperfections of society. So, to wrap things up, ruins in Romantic art weren't simply depictions of decay. They were complex symbols loaded with meaning, speaking to the passage of time, the power of nature, and the limits of human ambition.